But I mean, music. I mean, you first recorded back in 2001, and the new debut album is called Dance Again. So I suppose the question is, why this year and why now? I mean, after all of these years, what was it that drove you to want to record an album and also to do it in this year when there's this global pandemic going on?
Okay, the tracks that I recorded in 2001 were songs on my former church's album. There were tracks. What was the anthem for the second one was another song I just contributed to it. So, I've always wanted to do an album and it's been a long time coming. But and I'll be honest with you, along the line, I just kind of lost it. I'm involved in other things, and music became. Yes, I was week in, week out, a worship leader in church and all that. But I just thought I'd blown it. I thought my time had gone. I thought, it wasn't going to happen. And so I just really stopped doing anything towards creating or making an album. One thing I never stopped was writing.
Okay.
It's like it's in my blood. I just kept on writing, but I wasn't writing for an album. I just wrote because that's the way I like to do it. In 2018, I was planning on leaving my employment. I decided to go into consultancy. That's really what my original plan was, to go into consultancy. Perhaps work 2 or 3 days a week maximum, and earn as much as I was earning before, or even, that was my plan.
Yeah.
I've been to the top of my profession. I knew I could be a consultant. I just wanted to make more. And I was setting plans to do that. It was that December, the 31st of December. A lot of churches have their watch night services. We didn't have ours, and I was praying in my living room. And I was praying about a range of things. I assure you, absolutely nothing to do with music. And at the end of it, I had a wonderful time, just about to open the door to go out. It was already the new year. Yeah. I heard that voice. Now go do your album. Next. Go do it. And I said, whoa. It was as clear as day. And I'd always said, Lord, I'm going to do an album. I've always said it's going to be organic. I want real live instrumentation. I mean, it's going to be expensive and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Go do it. And I just felt that peace. And I then, narrative changed. In employment, I just said, guys, I'm leaving to go do my music. Everybody thought I was crazy and all that. Don't resign. And now I'm going my music. So that's where, that's how the decision came. So, I mean, I had and suddenly a flurry of other songs just started to come. I was writing almost perhaps 2 or 3 songs a week at some stage.
Oh, okay.
So, and I had about a selection of over 40 songs to choose from. Me and the producers, we had a really difficult time selecting which ones. I said, no, you can't have that. You can't have that. You can't have that. That's from another project. That's from another project. Oh yeah. Yes. So, and in the end, I wanted to put 20 tracks down, but all that we compromised to do 70. But actually, I still had my way because one of the tracks we made into a full song medley. So there are 20 songs on that album.
But first of all, when I saw the press release come through and it said 17 tracks on there, I'm like, pardon? Who put 17 tracks on an album? And I think it's a great achievement. And not only that, people are certainly going to get their money's worth, as it were, if nothing.
Oh, yeah.
And actually, I haven't listened to the whole thing, and at least people can begin to hear your heart in terms of what you want to say with your music. I mean, we'll come back to the album in a minute, but who were some of your influences and growing up, and have they shaped maybe your style of either writing or delivery of music?
Ooh, growing up, I was really into music from a very, very young age. But from earlier on, it was the likes of the Jackson 5, Michael Jackson, MJ, then moving on to Franklin, Robin Flack. I mean, all these guys in the 80s. George Benson. I mean, Cool and the Gang. You know, I mean, just name that genre. Those guys were just brilliant, fantastic. And I just used to listen to everything they put out.
Yeah.
Later on, I had, oh gosh. Oh, I mean, it's so many of them, right? And that was where I came from. It was an age of beautiful people, beautiful musicians, beautiful music, and that's really what I grew up with. I couldn't get Luther Vandross, you know, and all these guys. But when I became a Christian, I then began. I found, to be honest with you, it was music that was me from becoming a Christian, and music that helped me become a Christian. I kept on saying, "Oh my goodness, all this stuff." I mean, I don't know what I was listening to whenever I heard a Christian song. I can't leave all of the stuff, you know, all that, and come into music where it didn't seem right to me. It just didn't like it. And then I heard Amy Grant for the first time. Oh my God, that can't be a Christian song because of the way it was. And I said, it can't be a Christian song. And then it was. And then I became aware of the Winans and you know, so yeah, I think they really, I mean, you know, really influenced my music, and I think one person who's really who really helped me a lot when I came back to England, by the way, in '91, was a guy called Jonathan Butler. He was my praise and worship leader, and he more than anyone else, you know, I used to do a lot of things, and there was some things I could do with my voice, and I thought, oh my God, you can't do that in the church because it's showing off and all that. But I remember Jonathan, I'm having a go. I mean, no, you got to do it. You got to whip. You got to do this. So yeah, I can't proceed without mentioning him. And actually, yeah, it's he might have appeared on the album, but you know, COVID and all that stuff paid to that.
Do you feel that being a Christian, wearing that badge, has suppressed your creativity? I'm not saying if it should. Do you think it has?
Not on this album, and I would say perhaps early on in my Christian walk, I might have been thinking, oh my goodness, is this so? For example, Lovewell.
Okay, yeah.
One of the songs in it. I wrote that in 1990.
Okay.
1990. I'll say this because I think I have to. There's absolutely no change in its style, in its beat, from when I wrote it. You know, I did think when I wrote it, my goodness, Christy and you know, it's but it's a song that just simply says what it is. It's a song of somebody who's just become a Christian. And if you observe the lyrics, you find that it's just a song of someone who's just wow. Everywhere I go, yeah, people want to know what's come over me. Always looking glad, never seeming sad. It seems a mystery, but can't they see? I found the love I need. I found the love of Christ. I mean, you know, never hurts, never fails nobody. Love will change your life. That's basically it's a song of someone who's just found Christ. And but I is this Christian enough? You know, but it never occurred to me that I should release it. Well, if I could release it, but the opportunity never arose, and I thought, you know, over the years that it was gone. But you know, it's amazing that this is the first song we released as a single. I wasn't going to release a single. I was going to have a big, they do launching, you know, I've already spoken to Noel Robinson and Beswick. These are people I know, and I had already contacted them and was planning, you know, how we're going to do it. Then we hit COVID-19, and I realized that I was not going to have that big thing as I wanted. So we decided to release a single instead, just to make a little bit of noise. And the singles, you will, if I'm not sure if you've watched the video.
Not yet.
Okay, there's a video called Love, but it's in black and white. it's a reason why it's black and white. It was definitely recorded, and I'll release a color soon. But the black and white, I felt that the colored version would have been too bling bling. It would have been too much in your face.
Okay.
And I did not want to portray that. It would have been great if I had did big launching, then everyone knew who Sanmi Akinlabi was, and then you release it in color. Wow, then it would, but not until we released it. I've released it in black and white. You're the second radio station getting to hear that I'm going to do something with the colors.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
So the colored version will come out.
Thank you for the semi-exclusive. And so how would you describe your sound? You said that you've got some jazz influences, but you've got such a maybe your own cultural background and your own people who have influenced your life that you're kind of sharing with the world. But how would you describe your sound?
It's a difficult one, and I'll explain why. Because one of the key things I was speaking to a lot of people before, I mean, I'm not going to make it too many names, but I mentioned some already, was about categorization. You know, you're a gospel artist, or you're an R&B, or you or this or that. And I feel that, or you're a praise and worship leader. I'm all of that, by the way. I lead worship in church. I've always led worship.
Yeah.
But does that make me just a praise and worship leader? But I love on the album. There's some lovely contemporary Christian, you know, which I'm sure will be played in church. But also there's songs like Love Will. There's songs like Dance Again. I mean, the two CDs. The first CD, if you look at it, it's most of the style in there. You'll probably hear that sort of music in a house club or a party. You know? I know one of Love Will, for example, has also just been remixed. Some guys remixed it in Brazil and added some sambas. So now I don't necessarily want to completely. I'm not. I don't know. I think I describe myself as somebody who just loves beautiful music, because I tell you what, the next album I release, for example, whatever it could be reggae, completely reggae. I love, like I said, I love music. And there is not one genre of music right now, okay, that I don't appreciate or that I don't like. You know. So I just want to. I think if there is supposed to be some categorization, it's somebody who is into soul music, R&B, gospel. I mean, whatever it is you want to call it. But I'm soul, R&B, gospel, jazz. I mean, it's
an eclectic mix, reaching
it is.
Audience, yeah.
It is, and I can't. I mean, on the album, for example, you'll hear worship. You'll also hear. There's one song in there which I was when I played it to members of my I mainly they were jumping up and down. You know, perhaps they wouldn't be jumping up and down in the black church. That particular song called "Much More Than Ever" on the album. It's, you know, you would have thought, okay, it was written by one of our Caucasian brothers. You know, but it's that's it. But then you have a lot of other worship, really lovely, smooth praise and worship songs and worship songs. But again, then you have the soul aspect, which is all R&B, soul. First out, you know, I mean, songs like there's another song, "You Bring Me Joy." I did it with I have a couple of guest artists on the album, a lady called Sarah Table.
The one and only Sarah Tabor, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, so I was singing with her on one of the tracks. That was the one BBC played out, and BBC played it 2 Sundays ago. You know, and they played another song called "Jesus, There Is No One Like You." You know, whoa, BBC playing. They didn't play Love Will. They didn't play Dance Again. They played "Jesus, There Is No One Like You," and they played "You Bring Me Joy," which opened up by "Thank you, Lord, for loving me this way. Your glory fills me up." So I thought that's kind of like incredible in terms of the type of songs that are on the album. But all of that really, styling, you wouldn't be hearing that in a worship service, you know. But you probably might hear it on a dance party if they didn't realize what was being said.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, absolutely.
And so I just believe, and a very good friend of mine, I was speaking to him yesterday, actually, just yesterday, Nathan Curtis, plays the keyboards the piano on a song called Forever. One of my best friends. He said, and he put it in these words. He says, you know, in for church and outside the four walls, that's really what, you know, we need a lot more of. People who, yeah, I love worship. You know, I'm in church. I love worship. You know, love worship. Somebody asked me what my favorite song is, worship is, and I said it was sung by a UK artist. Favorite song ever, worship song. It's called "Make a Joyful Noise" by Mark Nesbitt. It's my most favorite.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Favorite. Do you know that song?
Yes.
It's whenever if I want to lead worship, it's my most favorite song. You know, so I love worship and I love praise. But I also love a range of diversity of music, and I believe that music. Let's take what we have and take it out there, and perhaps people might want to listen to some of the stuff before they come.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's where I'm at.
So the album was released end of November, and what's the future plans? Obviously, once we come out of the current situation and what I call this current season, it's been a long season, but this current season, would you be looking to promote it by doing tours? Would you like to do live concerts? Is that how you'd like to approach it?
Yeah, I'm right in the process of getting almost there, getting a team together. As you know, I have a PR guy who's doing magic at the moment. I have a team doing my social media. Right as I have Sarah Rami. I'm now getting a music director. I'm thinking pretty big. I'm thinking about going out on tours, going out concerts. Yeah, I think yeah. Let's just say I'm in for the long haul. because the aim when I was set, God said, "Go do your music and get it out there." Very clearly. I thought initially that all that's about doing the album. And once the album was concluded, when I say the album, did the mastering in August, that doesn't equate to music out there, does it? Got to do all that stuff. Okay, so then came in the next. Okay, promoting the music and getting it out there. So it's really what and this is actually that's the next step really, to get the music out there, and make it accessible to people and let them hear it. And that's why I battle sometimes with ideas around, you know, can I do this? Can I do that? Am I allowed to remix a song? And I'm thinking, I need to let people do what they want to do with the song, because the whole idea is to get the songs out there. And if people are listening to the words and listening to it, and if something's happening to them, we were doing that song, one of the songs called "You Know I Love You," and people just stopped singing, because they broke down because of the lyrics of that song. Powerful, including the party who perhaps might not have been, you know, because they were, you know, and that's what it's all about, really. It's the music can do something, and you know, the song does not mention God once. It's a song that God gave me, and it was really talking to me. And it's a song I sing on the album with my daughter. Do you know I love you? God's asking that question. Do you know I love you? How much I really love you? Do you know I'm always there? You know, lovely song. So the music really that I was trying to say, really, I appreciate all genres of music, but in particular, it's important for me that I write from the heart. And so I don't set out to say I'm going to write. I have written a couple of songs in the years before, just for somebody asked, "If you write a song," I've done that. But 95% of my songs, they just, I just, wow. Yeah. So that's that.
Powerful. And it is that there is such a power in music, and people so often don't, I would say, would underestimate how powerful music can be. both in the written form and even just from an instrumental musical form as well. So yeah, certainly wish you well. So how can people follow you and get hold of your music? We want to encourage people downloading to buy it. How can they do that?
Yeah, that's a bit of a tricky thing at the moment, to be honest with you, because Amazon have kind of messed a lot of things up. But in terms of following me, people can follow me on Facebook. It's Sanmi Akinlabi Music. Instagram, the same Sanmi Akinlabi Music. YouTube, just Sanmi Akinlabi. You'll find me on YouTube. But I need people to like and subscribe. That's you know. In terms of the album, you can get the album you can get it on Amazon. They keep asking for too few and keep selling out. Now they only have one in stock, you know. So you can get it on Amazon, or you can get it on my website. At the moment, and as at today, it's going for around $23.15 on Amazon. But that's because they've also thrown in the fact that if you buy the whole album, they'll throw in the whole bit. Well, not sure I like that. But I do really wanted to sell it on Amazon more than my website. It's on my website, by the way, at Sanmi Akinlabi. Sanmi.akinlabi.com or sanmiakinlabi.com. You can find the album there. You wanted to, people bought it right from Amazon, less money for me, but it goes up the charts as well. But either way, I think the key thing now is I just want people to have access to it. So yeah, whether they buy it on Amazon or they buy it from my website, it's fine. Yes, and download, buy, stream if you have to.
Yeah.
Well, I just want you to get it.
Absolutely.